Good Tuesday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. On behalf of Weigel's, fuel and food that's fast, fresh, and friendly, I got a great weather update for you. Great if you love cold weather, because you may not be all that thrilled about the cold air. So I have some good news here. There's something at the stores. When you get to the stores, the all-new banana pudding milk from Weigel's. You can go bananas for the flavor. It's all new. It's a wonderful creation from our friends at Weigel's, who've been local since 1931. Check it out, the banana pudding milk. Next time you're filling up your tank, because I know a lot of folks will be at home again today because of the cold air, just know that the banana pudding milk is waiting for you when you get there. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24, and just better when it's with Tennessee cows. Very thankful for my sponsor with Weigel's. The all-new banana pudding milk is delicious. I've had 2 quarts, and I'm working on my 3rd one, so we're going to be excited about that. Well, we'll talk about the weather. I'm not too excited about the cold. The cold air that's now in place is only going to get worse. We are currently at 21 degrees at McGee-Tyson Airport. Now, wait a minute. You said we get to 17. Okay, we didn't get to 17, at least not yet. Because you know what? We're kind of in a free fall. Our high temperature today came in just after midnight at 25 degrees. That's my expectation. High temperature today, 25. Maybe we get back to 22 this afternoon, but some of us are already at 25. I'm looking at Newport and I'm looking at Greenville. But if you look at Crossville, you're like, what are you talking about? I'm only 8. Huge difference, folks. The cold air is beginning to infiltrate. It's moving in from the west and northwest, so the Arctic blast that we've been talking about for so long has already arrived in Oneida. It's 10 degrees. And it's 11 degrees in Wartburg. So that's some cold air. You can't get around that for sure. It's very cold. But I want to make sure that you're prepared. I'm on both YouTube and Facebook. The big story this morning isn't just the temperatures. It's the wind chill. What am I talking about? Well, we have 21 degrees at the airport. That's true. But if you look at the wind chill, it feels like 11 right now. Oh, no, really? We have a snowpack. Well, many of us do. I just measured my home, and I got a ½ inch last night. So from 7.5 to I now have 8 inches of snow. I'll show the picture a little bit later, but it's interesting to see. Many of you had some 8s and some 9s. Some interesting from Halls to Carnes to Morristown, and then there were some that were disappointed in the mixing zone. I get that, but maybe you got a little bit last night. That's a possibility. But with these wind chills, it's very dangerous. There's no question about that. I've been hammering the idea of hyperthermia. People thought, oh, that's a little hyperbole. No, it's not. Not when it's actually feeling like 0 in Wartburg, and it feels like -6 at this very moment in Jamestown. Very cold air indeed. I'm checking over here and looking at some notes here. Dennis Hatcher says, good morning to you. Dennis Hatcher over here says, we're currently at 22 degrees here in Dandridge this morning. We received 4 inches of snow, even with the mixing. Oh, what do you know? 4 to 8. He even got the 4. Thank you for sharing that, Dennis. I jokingly, because again, the snow is no longer the story, at least for me. It's how are we going to get through the frozen pipe scenario, the dripping of the faucets, and also the opening of the cabinetry, the bathrooms and the kitchen, the cabinet underneath the kitchen sink. You want the air to circulate. Wanda Poe says it's snowing here in Newport and it's cold. And Danny says, good morning, David. Hope you had a wonderful warm day. Go Vols. Happy to have Danny here as well. So if you checked out, I didn't like to kind of do a grading of a forecast until the event is over. Well, the snow event's pretty much over. There's going to be a few lingering flurries today, but once they're out of here, if you want to take your final measurement, post it online. I'd like to see and know what you got. I'd like to know what you got in terms of that snow. But that's kind of something interesting to note. There's where we are right now as far as a wind chill, and of course the National Weather Service has launched their wind chill advisory in Nashville. It's already in effect for Crossville and Jamestown. Notice that's now, big NOW, until 10 a.m. Wednesday. But for Knoxville, the Morristown office starts this at 5 o'clock today. So there's a difference. One is already in effect, Fentress, Cumberland County, till 10 o'clock Wednesday. That's tomorrow. Of course, the ours starts at 5 p.m. in Knox County and runs till noon. So temperatures could feel as low as -15. -15, that's like unreal. That's like dangerously cold. So please, whether it's your pets, whether it's your elderly neighbors, whether it's just your regular neighbors, they don't have to be elderly, anyone's going to feel this cold. And it's very important that you take the necessary precautions to stay warm. By the way, as I pop up over here on YouTube, I want to check in if you have a comment. I see Steve Stone. He's quick on the draw. He says good morning, and he's got his sunglasses. Well, we'll be mostly cloudy to start, I think, Steve, and then the sun will break out. Maybe a partly cloudy finish today. and then it's just decreasing clouds overnight, and we turn frigid, bone cold, bone chilling cold indeed for the overnight period tonight. So wind chill advisories are on the table. And if you have the Captain Accurate Weather app, you would have been notified the very instant that they issue that very early this morning. Notice the snowflakes are trying to move out. Many of the areas have seen the flakes come to an end, but you may have picked up some accumulating snow while you were sleeping, which is why the winter storm warning goes until 7. So the pink areas will disappear at 7, which is 15 minutes from now, and we still have the wind chill advisories already in effect, as I mentioned, for areas like Crossville and Jamestown. We'll see it basically take hold across the area as it gets colder. Power outages, we have a few, 100 here, 200 there. I'm looking at Sevier County. Looks like Cocke County has 200 outages, and that could grow. So you want to make sure your phone is charged and you have some way to stay warm in case your electricity does, in fact, go out. The rest of the state, wind chill advisories. They're concerned about the wind chill, whether you're in Cookeville, Nashville, or Jackson, Tennessee. There's just no getting around it. Most of the snow now in eastern Kentucky up toward West Virginia is slowly pulling away. And boy, is it still snowing. Upstate New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and now Boston too. So many of the areas in the Mid-Atlantic and New England getting in on the act. And look at the chill all the way into Texas. You're like, this is crazy. You mean you can't escape it even if you go to Dallas. Or I was going to go to Houston if I could get a flight, but it's cold there too. Even Florida, I would think, is probably bracing for some cold down the road, that's for sure. Look at these visibility down to a mile. That may be more of a function of clouds, fog, and maybe some flakes. But 3 miles visibility now in Morristown, 2 in Crossville. Temperatures, a little bit of fog too. So if you have some fog, poor visibility, that's going to be freezing fog. Our temperatures, just to revisit, if you're just joining us, 7 in Jamestown, 9 in Wartburg, and it's 21 in Knoxville, about 17, 18 between, say, Rockwood and Maryville. Maryville at 18, 23 currently in Sevierville. We mentioned the winds. How strong are they? If 21 degrees is the actual temperature, well, we have, what, an 8-mile-an-hour wind? That'll do it. That'll do it indeed. If a 21-degree temperature, an 8-mile-an-hour wind, and a few gusts along the Smokies, well, the one up toward Jacksboro, 11-mile-an-hour wind or so actually makes 21 feel like 11. I mean, that's just cold. There's no getting around that. I'm looking back on Facebook. I want to see your comments. If you have a comment, let me know. Good morning to you. Are you ready for the chill? I know that it's kind of been slowed. We've talked about it. But really, this is the big story moving forward. Trying to move this ball down the field. Wanted you to be prepared. Gardner says, good morning, David. He says he got 9 inches of snow in Lenore City. Glad to hear it, because I know if you're on Team Snow, you're loving that. Or you might be dreading it, but he says that was as of 4:30 this morning. Thank you, Gardner. Felicia, good morning. I almost got 11 inches at midnight last night. We'll check again when it warms up. That's a lot of snow. In fact, let me do some checking, because you know I'm a note taker. 1.06, that was the amount of precip that fell. Now, on a 10-to-1 ratio, that'd be a little over 10 inches. And Felicia says she got 11. I think that's within reason. Now, some had a lot of mixing. Some had maybe closer to 8 or 9. But that's what we had. 31 degrees was the high yesterday. The record low today is -10 from 1893. And the record low tonight is -5. I'm still expecting -2. We'll be within about 3 degrees away from the record low tonight from 1982. It's just amazing stuff. Carla Jackson says, good morning, David. Looks like we picked up another half inch or so last night. Thank you for that. Kathy says she got between 7 and 8. She says, wow. Kathy Nance says, it ain't going anywhere anytime soon either. That's the truth. This is not one of those, hey, it's here for a few hours and it disappears. We've got a lot of cold air still in play. And the wind chill right now is unreal. 24-hour temperature change is 13 degrees colder in Crossville right now as compared to where we were this time yesterday. It is now 6:49. My goal is to be done at precisely 7 o'clock, but I may go a minute late with all the information I have to pass along. Temperature right now, 9. These are the actual temperatures. 11 in Nashville, and it's 11 degrees in Memphis. That's some pretty cold air, but it's milder in the 30s in much of the Carolinas, even 40s for some areas down toward Columbia, South Carolina. Tracking the clouds, still a lot of those going to be in place, but we'll go from mostly to partly cloudy. Today, sunrise, 7:45. We can check that box. Probably won't see it, but I do think many of us will see the sunset 5:46, that's going to be the time in Knoxville. Now, it's kind of funny, I couldn't update the snow. I saw some green grass here on my animation. Who has green grass? Well, maybe some of the mixing areas are still dealing with green grass, but many of us are snow. It's all white. It's all white. But anyway, temperatures are going to flatline. If you didn't hit 25 like Miggy Tyson did early this morning, you'll have a hard time getting back there this afternoon. So expect low to mid-20s. Most of us low 20s around the valley for the rest of the day. And again, it's all academic because we've got a wind today, 3 to 8 miles an hour on average. And I think that's going to take the feels like way lower than 25. 15 is the high expected in Crossville, 18 in Oneida, and I'm looking for a high in La Follette of 20 degrees. Here are your headlines. Flakes fade early today. Frigid air tonight. Looking for -2. He said -2. Yeah, -2 for tonight. And very cold sunshine on Wednesday. By the way, if you haven't picked up a bottle of the all-new banana pudding milk the next time you're in your car, because I don't advise you getting out on the roads today, but if you have to be on the roads, Weigel's has the all-new banana pudding milk. Go bananas for flavor in stores for a limited time. It's delicious. It's like, the iconic Southern dessert is now a sippable treat. So the all-new banana pudding milk is at Weigel's. It's only at Weigel's. It's just better when it's fresh, farm to store in 24, and it's just better when it's with Tennessee cows. Banana pudding milk. Check it out the next time you are at a Weigel's. By the way, as we look at the headlines, once again, very cold sunshine tomorrow. We're not expecting any precip tomorrow. Now, pavement temperatures. This is another story I think that might be undertold because you can see from the modeling, it puts some of the temperatures on the pavement, on the roads, very, very cold. How are you going to melt this snow on the roads? You're just not. Look at that, 7 or 8 in the morning. You got single digits for pavement temperatures. The air temperature may be -2, but even the pavement's going to be single digits. That's why, as I think was very duly noted, we're not going anywhere anytime fast. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. From Kathy's point of view, it won't be going anywhere very fast. But the pavement temperatures stay even cold going into Thursday, into the teens and 20s. So it is advisable that you be extra careful on the roads. And as far as your pipes, there are a couple of things you could do. One of them is to remove, drain, and store the outdoor hoses. Oh, man, I forgot to do that. You might want to do that, because that might be a way to avoid pipes freezing. Consider some insulation materials like a pipe sleeve. We talked about that last night. And let the cold water drip from faucets and open the kitchen and bathroom cabinets. And if you're leaving your house, you don't want to leave it any lower than 55 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the recommendation. So try to avoid some of the frozen pipes. Of course, the winds are not calm necessarily. They're about 3 to 8 today, but your body heat will escape rather rapidly when the winds pick up, and it doesn't take much. So please limit your outdoor time. Make sure your pets are taken care of. We talked about hypothermia, frostbite. It can occur in minutes. Cover up your skin. If you are shivering, if you're having a difficult time speaking, which I may be having some time this morning, or stiff muscles, these may be warning signs of hypothermia. That's the unusual condition, the abnormally low body temperature that is dangerously low. So I want to check in with you and say hello to you. Linda Rice says, good morning, David. Thanks for keeping us updated. Stay warm and safe. Felicia says, why was it always so bright at night after big snow? You get what's the brightness, the albedo. It's the little reflection. It's kind of like when you put a mirror underneath your chin. Suddenly it feels like it's brighter when the sun's shining back in on it. So there's moonlight and there's just ambient, maybe street lights. Street lights could be reflecting off the snowpack. So there could be that element too, Felicia. It's a good question. Wanda Post says everyone needs to get your premium app or service on Facebook and get to see what the next big thing is. We're going to talk about that too on Premium later today, because there are going to be some bigger storms, perhaps, maybe smaller storms in the near future down the road. I'm going to show you some snow potential coming up here in mere moments. I got to keep moving because it's now 6:54. What about the temperatures? Boy, they Arctic cold. Not only here in part, maybe West Tennessee, Arctic, it's -9 in Des Moines. Lots of news yesterday there, right? -8 in Bismarck, -9 in Rapid City. And all that purple ooze is oozing to a neighborhood near you. So as bad as it is here, it might be a lot worse further into the upper plain states. Let's show you some snow potential moving forward. We already picked up a 1/2 inch to 1 inch. This is the model trying to figure out what you got last night. See where it puts the snow? That's where they put 1/2 inch to 1 inch, maybe 2 inches around the Gatlinburg area. May have fallen since last night. So we can count that as what's already fallen. But then it kind of throws a little bit of snow going into the weekend, Thursday into Friday, maybe a little bit more there in blue. You can see how it fills up toward Buffalo. There's more snow coming down all across the board. But you take it through February 1st, we might pick up another 4 inches here or 6 inches there. It's possible. It's possible. So I won't say it's not necessarily likely, but given the fact that we've had a change in the weather pattern, anything's on the table. So I invite you to check back with us. As Wanda Poe recommends, join us on the Captain Accurate Premium service. You'll love to get the extra information and be in the know because we dive into it each and every day. What about the purple cold air? Well, it comes to town in Knoxville. That's 3 p.m. today. And then it kind of rotates in, it rotates out. These are 5,000-foot temperatures, but they give you a sense of what's going on up there. It's probably going to affect us down here. Look at that. That's the 19th. That's why this weekend, Friday into Saturday, we're back to around 0. Oh, 0. I thought we were going to have a warming trend. No, not this weekend. Not this weekend. Stays purple right through the 20th. Last I checked, that's Saturday. Saturday's high will be lucky to get to 19. 19, and there won't even be a concern about, hey, a heat wave. There's no heat wave here. This is the cold wave. This is the opposite, the sheer opposite of a warm spell. Now, eventually, by the time we get to maybe the 24th, 25th of January, there might be an artificial warm spell because temperatures warm up in the yellow and green, but then it gets really nice, maybe by the 25th. But then it's sadly going to be replaced with some colder air heading into February as I see this cold air just locking and reloading heading into next month. And for Groundhog Day, it'll be cold enough to snow by then too. Right now it's 21 degrees, feels like 11. We have a west wind at 8 miles per hour. Good morning to you. Just checking in. It's 6:56. My goal is to be done here in about 3 or 4 minutes. Diane Ladyhawk says, good morning, Captain. Marilyn Bell says, bust on the snow here in White Pine. She says she got 1 inch. See, you were wearing my out the door picture, right? It had green grass. I guess that would have been a picture of White Pine. Most of us have the snow on the ground, but I do know poor Marilyn. She's on Team Snow, I think, but she just said she only got 1 inch. Mostly sleet and rain, she said, in White Pine, ready for spring since I can't get snow. Oh, you'll get it. It's just, this is round 1. We're not going to define this winter on this one event. We may have significantly more snows down the road. Maybe they're bigger, maybe they're smaller. She says this, they call this the dry valley. Now I see why. Marilyn's not too happy with what she got in terms of snow, and maybe you weren't either. That is certainly an element of possibility that some of us were not too thrilled with what they received. But I do get what's been going on. Let's take a look. I'm going to look back over here on YouTube. I see Steve Stone. I got another note here. He says, I need 70 degrees. He's on Team Spring. He said, we got almost 11 inches here in Rockford. So thank you for that update, Steve. 11 inches. I'm sure Marilyn Bell, you could go to any one of these locations. I'm sure they'll transport some snow so you can enjoy what they're enjoying as far as sledding. I know you're not a sledder, but it's kind of interesting to see what maybe the kids or grandkids might be doing with the snow. Flakes fade early today. Partly, we'll start mostly, then go to partly cloudy. The average high, by the way, is 48. 48, and we may struggle to get back in the low to mid-20s today. Chance of precipitation, I left 20% today, 60% on Thursday night, and then it should be moving away. Both Thursday, Friday, may be a combination of snow and rain. I'll update you later today. Storm Prediction Center, we have some areas that now show signs of severe weather today. That was not on the map last night, but the Storm Prediction Center has now put Tampa, Orlando, and maybe even Palm Bay, areas around central Florida, may have some isolated severe storms today with the thunderstorms. But for us and for the rest of the country, Wednesday, it looks pretty quiet. Looks pretty quiet as well on Thursday, I believe, except maybe South Florida might have a few thunderstorms possible there. So that's the Thursday outlook for severe weather and pretty quiet elsewhere. But meanwhile, we look at the futurecast here at 6:59. You see the snow, it's moving away. Maybe holding on at 10 a.m. in the Smokies, where maybe it wasn't snowing 24 hours ago. It was all mixing in some cases. But the snowflakes will get out of here before noon along the Smokies. 5 o'clock, we're decreasing the clouds. It's awfully cold, if not frigid. First thing tomorrow morning, high pressure slides into Mississippi. Our temperatures plummet. The Arctic air moves in. And so it goes. Lots of sunshine tomorrow, a high of only 26. And then on Thursday, you see how it's a mix? It's a little blue. It's a combination. It's a rain-snow mix, kind of ugly, and it'll come in like so. So that's the way Thursday looks, probably most likely in the afternoon. It might change over to rain for a while and then end to some snowflakes. There's 7 a.m. on Friday. So it will be a fluid situation that could be a combination of precipitation types. It is now 7 o'clock. Let's get you the futurecast and then the forecast. You'll notice our flakes move away. the clouds break up, and by 4 o'clock, if we're lucky, we're around 24 degrees, 25. Once we move into tonight, it's a free fall. Temperatures will plummet, not only because the skies are decreasing, clouds are decreasing, but because the Arctic air is moving in. Notice our temperatures once we get to about, say, I believe about 6 a.m., 6 or 7. How far? Yeah, there it is. I saw -2, -3. It's pretty cold. When you wake up tomorrow morning, I think many of you will want to go back under the covers. Once we get to midday tomorrow, we're about to 21. And then we'll wake up, finish the day on Wednesday with sunshine about 25, 26 degrees. I don't expect it much warmer than that because we're going to still have that snowpack underfoot, no doubt. It is 7 o'clock. Time for the forecast. 25. We've already hit that just after midnight, and we'll make an attempt to get back there this afternoon. Mostly to partly cloudy. Flurries fade early, and the winds generally 3 to 8 miles an hour. Might be variable this morning, but more northeast for the afternoon. For temperature for winds across the board. Today, looking for a high of Oneida, 18. If you're in Crossville, Jamestown, 15. And 24 for Morristown, White Pine, 26 in Newport, 26 for Athens. Temperatures all around the state, much colder. Now, Tri-Cities will be 25-ish, but they'll be in the upper teens for highs from Nashville to Memphis. Now, tonight, we're down to -2. For context, I put in the record low is -5 from 1982. So you got to go all the way back to the Ronald Reagan administration. That's how long it's been since we will have been that cold on the 17th of January, because every day has its own record high, record low, and so on. But it's interesting to see -2, frigid air, decreasing cloud. At least it's not windy, right? At least the winds aren't moving. And if it were, and if it moves even 3 or 4 or 5 miles an hour, that's why the Weather Service has a wind chill advisory as low as -15. That's where that comes from, just a slight wind. But here are my expected lows tonight. Around 0 for Maryville, -4 for Oak Ridge, -2 for Knoxville. Again, a lot of folks weren't that cold. I kept getting, you're a lot colder than everybody else. Well, that's why you watch me, because I'm not afraid to stick my neck out and say, hey, we're going to get 4 to 8 inches of snow. Some of you got 9. I've been saying we're closer to 0. So most people are 11, most are 8, most are 7. Fine. That's the guidance. But you didn't take into account the snow cover. That could cause a bust in the temperature. That's why I think we're at -2, and we're close to record lows, because if the record low is -5, Oak Ridge is -4, hey, it's within striking distance, right? It's going to be one of those surprise factors, I think, tomorrow morning, how cold it gets with the snowpack underfoot. Looking ahead to the Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast. 25 Tuesday, 26 Wednesday, and then, if you want to say warmer, 37 Thursday. We've got a combination of afternoon snow and rain, mix, 60%. Continues Thursday night, then changes over to some snow showers and flurries, about a 30% chance. This will not be, in any way, shape, or form, anything like what we just experienced. The temptation is, once you get a storm like this, and I'm thinking like the blizzard of 93, people say, oh, every storm in March has got to be a blizzard of 93. No. Every storm that we just experienced, like the one coming ahead, is vastly different. It's going to be a hodgepodge of mixing, which we heard from Marilyn Bell wasn't the best result for snow lovers. So we're going to get a little bit of rain and snow on the front end, and then once the front passes by, it'll change back to snow. That's why I have a 30% chance of snow showers and flurries on Friday, high of 35, and then we just lock and reload on the cold. 0 might be conservative. We could easily be in the negative digits there on Saturday morning and Sunday morning, so please drip the faucets, prevent the frozen pipes, and make sure your phone is charged, and check on your neighbors, your pets. Everybody needs to be cared for. It doesn't matter what your age. 27 on Sunday, and then 37 on Monday. I want to say thank you again for your time. Steve Stone's on YouTube. We're doing a dual live stream. Diane sending me some stars. Thank you very much, Diane. Patrick says, new weather nerd landing here. Good, Patrick. Glad to have you, sir. And automatically, this is out going to be 25. Automatically, this out, if it's going to be 25 in the next week, bless your heart, from Ohio. Okay, so we got some notes from Patrick. And then Janet Potts saying, I think she said something about hello. But anyway, very thankful. Keep the comments coming, and I'll do my best to answer any questions or concerns that you may have. By the way, if you haven't picked up a bottle of the awesome banana pudding milk the next time you're at Weigel's, maybe not today because the roads can be dicey. I know Marilyn Bell, since she only had an inch, she might be able to get to Weigel's. But check out the banana pudding milk. in Go Banana for flavor. You're not going to find it anywhere else but Weigel's. Their all-new banana pudding milk. That iconic Southern dessert is now a sippable treat. Check it out. They're just better when they're fresh, farm to store in 24, just better when it's with Tennessee cows. Very excited about our sponsor, banana pudding milk from Weigel's. Well, my name is David Aldrich. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.